Hey guys, Vincent Nguyen here for Yanko Design. I'm not in the video, obviously, because this is all about Xander. And how do you pronounce it properly?
I think Xander it's from Alexander. So
Okay.
that's why it's without the ALE.
So modest.
Xander.
Alexander, they're great. I was really referring to the brand. How do you pronounce the brand name?
Oh, the
not
brand
your
name.
name.
No, the brand name. No, sorry. I thought you meant that.
I'm kidding. No, but both. Yeah. So
No, Breggz is like the name above all the products we want to bring, because I think we in the future we want to bring some more products to the world.
okay.
So the first one is the Zone 1.
Okay.
So you just listen to the Zone 1, and I think soon this year already the Zone 2 is coming.
What's in the name of the zone? What does that mean?
Because you're in the zone. If you put these pieces in, it takes over your being, and you're really inside of the music. So you're in the zone.
Okay.
We just wrote it a little different because else, it's not special. So ZOHN, and and that's it. You're in the zone.
So we've talked briefly online. Let's talk about the inspiration real quick. What inspired you to obviously start the business, come up with the product? You just alluded to you have a map of the whole product line. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, no. Where I first started was I'm an artist now for about 30 years and doing like 90 to 100 shows a year, so every year, and I'm on stage wearing wired in-ear monitors, and they give very good sound. So my simple thought was always, why isn't this very good sound available for the consumer market? Because if you're spending thousands of bucks in the studio with hotshot producers, spending a lot of money to make the sound very special of your new single, you want to bring this exact sound to the audience.
Got it.
And it never happens.
You
the
bet.
way we built this.
Okay.
Like wireless, custom-made, hearable. It doesn't exist, I thought.
What was the design process like? Was it like you knew exactly what you wanted in your head, and then was it the cart before the horse? Did you envision it and then you came back to the drawing board, or you started with the drawing board and then went and...
No, let's be very honest. It's not smart that I'm going to be on the drawing board. So I really, it was the idea. It was the thing I want. I'm really not a tech guy. So I talked to a few friends of mine, and I went to a guy who makes my in-ear monitors wired, and I said, I want this, but then without a wire.
Okay.
And then he said to me, I don't think you understand what you're asking me. I said, no, I don't. And then he said, you have to start with the software, and then try to reach a very good party, because we had nothing in house at the time. I was just with me and a partner.
Okay.
So, and we built this. It was Corona, so it was COVID time. So I had a very empty agenda. So, and this idea just needed a little time. So I got this time, and I didn't want to sit down in a corner and cry about something I didn't have anymore, no shows. I want to focus on something positive. So then we started, and then we got on this train, and we go to a very good software party. The software party said, this guy can, in Kansas City, Ear Micro, can create this together with you. So, and then we got to the ear scan, because that was really a point in the story that we thought, if you really have to go to somebody who's
an audiologist to mold,
it takes too much time.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating to have something eject into your ear, 100%.
And it's for scalability is also nice. So we work with a party from Australia, and they made together with us a scan. So you just put your phone. We have our own scan app. It's all ready to go.
So that's
scan the ear, and the results are
pretty spectacular.
Just as good as somebody who's taking it.
I'm glad you brought up that scanning part, because the second part I like to talk about. So we discussed the intro, we discussed the design, the ergonomics side of things. So obviously you've made it. The team has made it to where it's easy to have access to scanning your ears. Was there any challenge to that? I mean, obviously
a big challenge.
What were some of the things
Big-
there that you
because it
overcame?
didn't work in the beginning. It didn't work at all the way we wanted it to work.
I love it.
So we had like how many different.
Did he sit in the room and cried after that too, or was that kind of like
A few days.
for a few days?
No, but I always try to focus on the, you know, if it's not working out, you
Yeah.
can focus on that it's not working out, but it costs you some time. So
Mm-hmm.
I focus on how are we going to solve it.
Exactly.
With the whole team, obviously. And so we have now, we run like, this is the 12th different, huh?
Yeah,
We are
that's correct.
12.0
Yeah.
now, but because I wanted it to be very clear, because you need to see how far from the ear you need to be, but also how you got to turn it. So it makes like short movies of your ear.
Got it.
And then it was very difficult because then you have like a scan, but how can you make a printable file out of this scan? And so there are two big software companies and programs between it.
They're doing all
to
that
make that
magic
happen.
on the back end. Got it.
And that was also a very exciting trip. But yeah, I always said to everybody, and everybody in the whole team thinks the same way. We only go for the best, because if we are going to compete, and I don't say any negative thing about the hearables are in the market now, because they are great. Apple is a great company. Come on, but we don't want to compete with them. And,
They're mass pro-
and they're
ma- they're mass-
mass
they're mass-
products,
yeah, they're mass,
They
yeah.
are universal. We look to the high end market. There isn't a high end market.
There
Wireless-
is, but
Yeah,
it's
but
cumbersome, as we talked about that
wireless,
earlier.
custom made,
Yep.
handmade. So we have like the balanced armature drivers in it, because the bass needs to breathe.
Yeah.
You know. But
Before
how
we
do you
get
s-
to that,
yeah.
there's a second component of ergonomics I like to discuss. The case is really unique. The earpiece is really unique. Let's talk about that before we jump to the performance side. So I'll let you kind of
Yeah.
put it all together, and then we'll talk about that. What's going on with the contraption? Is there built-in battery life?
Yeah, of course,
It's
of
so
course.
unique that it's
course.
something out of the Matrix almost,
So
to be honest
this
with you.
is so this is we wanted a little bit, because we want to aim for the high end. We want something circular. So if you put this in a shredder, we can build a new one. So after the lifetime of this, we can use everything again.
So that's another really important
Yeah.
part that we at Yanko Design
Circularity,
focus.
sustainability. We
yep.
have to think about the
Okay.
future. So we are very much focused on it. It's not like that we put this in our brand guide in the first place, but we want to think about
Sure,
this. It's very
100%.
important. And yeah, the Lamborghini doors. It's like a little
Can I
bit
see
like
that really quick?
You
That's,
just
is
take
it
them out of
held
each
together
other.
by magnet, or is there?
Yeah. You go. There are magnets.
Oh, the
in
lights.
it.
The lights kind of come on.
Yeah, the lights come on. So when
But
you
how
open it-
stable is it? If I throw this in my bag, is it gonna come open easily?
It stays.
No,
It stays
no,
pretty-
It stays pretty, and we're now. So this is like the base product,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can also print it in, for example, in gold. You
Got
can
it.
also, enrich it with diamonds.
So
or
you
whatever.
want
That's the
this to
future.
be the future of like the Tiffany box that one would get.
Yeah.
Like when you give this to someone, it's essentially like you're receiving
That's it.
that beautiful
And
teal
a
Tiffany
personal
box.
Got it in the
gift.
same rat as your Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get that back to you. How does all that come together?
What a little bit the problem was, if you don't make a universal product,
Mm-hmm.
and all ears are different sizes, we built like a tree, and you can hang the ears up in the tree, because we just made a hole in this
Mm-hmm.
that slides over it, and you put it in.
Does that hole work in terms of airflow? And it allows the bass to kind of percolate in your ear.
It's
there any
got nothing to do
functionality?
with that,
Has
because
nothing
the
to do with
ceiling
it.
is inside of
Okay,
it.
it's
So
okay
it's totally
in
sealed.
the canal itself.
In
okay,
the canal
got it.
itself, and really, in the canal itself
Yep.
is the ceiling, but also the ceiling within the ear, like the tip. You need the tip for the 100% sealing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
to be closed off so we don't have noise cancellation because everything is cancelled already.
It's your passive noise cancellation that's playing.
Yeah.
The challenge I can see, was there a potential challenge to having the connection because of that hole and having it secure?
Yeah, of course. We because you can't imagine how many things went wrong or like not the way we wanted it to be. Because like for example, if you coat these with black, so we got a coat, really a coating party. So we can do it in all colors. We can do it, but some colors shrink different than other colors.
Interesting.
And if they shrink different, it doesn't fit anymore. So we have a lot of, a lot of things needed to happen. So, and that's all algorithms like in computers, in the printers, that make sure that every color is also going to fit on the tree. The hole is big enough. So it's a big and it's handmade. We have now at the high tech campus. It's a very famous place in Holland, very international, very European, and we have now really a team working on putting charge. The charger is universal, so you just and the inside of the pebble, we call it the pebble, is also universal.
Right.
It's just. AI is measuring that out. It's just slightly different in the shell with every person, so it modulates to the perfect fit. And then we have like a little, we call it a faceplate, the thing that shuts it off. And in the end, we are bringing with magnets. You can take the faceplate off. You can take the pebble out. Put a new pebble in. So. In the end, after 2 or 3 years, maybe when you want to change it, you just
again the sustainability part.
But then you just keep your shell.
Yep.
So we say you don't just buy a product; you invest in your ears. So you take out the pebble, you just order a new pebble.
Is the battery component in the pebble too, or is that separate?
The battery is also in the pebble. Every technical part is in the pebble. Only connected to the pebble are the balanced armature drivers who are in the ear canal, and that's the handmade thing.
Yep, that's the handmade portion.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So now that you've touched on the performance side, please go into what what came together to really give it that true in your head, out of this world experience. I might quote that: "In your head, out of this world experience." That's a good one. That's a good one. You got that? We'll use that.
And after this interview, I'm going to let you listen to another song because I really want you to hear it.
Okay.
But you were very fast because if you know what, and I don't mean this arrogant, but if you know what quality is, you recognize it in an instant.
Sure.
So you listened for 10 seconds and you knew. Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk.
Yep.
But on every piece of the whole process, we just waited for the best. It took time. It took much more money than we thought it would take because if something wasn't slightly perfect, we say, okay, if we want to aim for the high-end markets, we need everything to be right.
Right.
So we are ready to produce now. We are producing, so the product produce line is ready now. But even now, we have this great head with real ears on it. We can put the hearable in the ear, and it makes an audiogram. And before every set of ears go out of the Netherlands, we need this flat line in all frequency levels, and you get this audiogram with the product.
Awesome. Okay.
And I'm not talking crap about other devices, but obviously we put other devices.
You want to give that baseline audiogram so that once the individual customized, they can have that baseline. Because some people just want that baseline because if they're using it as an in-ear monitor, then that baseline is important.
Very important.
You don't want
in one frequency level dropping out. So no bass or no tweeters, So this range needs to be flat. And we measured even wireless, very famous brands, and it got drops everywhere. And sometimes, because it's handmade, it's not the way we want it to be, and we see a little drop because maybe
Then do you tweak the software, or how do you tweak it, or do you just?
It's just about the ceiling.
Okay.
It's really about
Got
and
it.
obviously about a good working speaker. So if you have 100 speakers, maybe one is not working totally you want it, but we test everything, and then until we have this
Okay.
this flat liner. Yeah.
That makes sense. The audiogram. Speaking of that, the hearing test.
Yeah, the hearing test.
That's really important, or is not as
Well,
important?
it's very important because it's called personal sound. So what we add because we were talking what audience do we want to reach, and we call it two audiences, one desire. If people want to pay more for a device, but then they expect more in return. They want more quality.
Right.
And that's what we are offering. So we focus really on the audiophiles and on the luxury buyer in the end. And you know, maybe in the future we can even I don't know. We want to aim for the high because you said maybe it's too cheap.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the top-down approach.
No,
right?
no,
The top-down
no,
approach.
that's it.
Once the brand is established and once the quality is consistent, there's no harm in having either something more simplified or something that offers more drivers. You know, at a higher tier.
Even if I'm on stage,
Yep.
I think having more than 5 drivers in ear is bullshit. Sorry for my.
No worries.
Because it's no use.
There's only
you
so
know?
much your brain can process.
That's it.
At any given time.
So
Yep.
and in the end, I one time had 5, but now I have on stage 4 per ear. I'm totally happy with it.
You find that
because
very
I
optimal?
can balance out the sound.
How do you balance the 4 drivers? Like, how do you arrange?
Now that's what Beer from Air Micro does.
Okay,
together
but you
with
give
us.
them guidance though.
Of course but he's got.
You're like an F1 driver tuning a car.
But you know, if an F1 driver has a very good tuned car, but his team is not working out or the pit's
Exactly,
not
you're still screwed.
It's about everything.
It's like
You
2-second
don't-
pit stop versus 2.1 second. Yeah,
And
so
then
it
you
makes
lose.
it's a
And then
matter.
you
Yep.
lose.
Then you lose
So-
by
so-
100 of a second. You're screwed, and everyone's pissed off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's about every piece of the whole process that needs to be perfect.
Yep.
And in the end, it's so exciting. You also have to be a little lucky that you have this good team, that you have this good partners.
Luck
You have
should-
partners all over the world.
Luck should
now.
run across everything. Opportunity. Luck should just be across everything, and it's really the glue. I think, in my opinion, doing this for 30 years, I see that many brands have the right team, they have the right technology, but without that luck that gives them that just in time, they're ahead or they're behind and they're screwed.
And sometimes you also have to push the boundaries to get luck your way.
Yep.
You know, you just have to.
You have to make it.
have a
You
very-
have to make
You
it.
have to try
You have
to
to
make
create
it.
the opportunity that obviously lends itself to being lucky. So.
Yeah, and we see everything that goes wrong as an opportunity to get better.
Yep.
And so that's also a learning for us.
But you've never done anything like this though, right? So
No,
I would have to give it a ton of luck to arrive at this as your first venture. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Most people would have to spend
because it's true.
I mean, the guys like, okay,
be
so
honest.
funny story. The first time Motorola came up with the Bluetooth headset. No, I'm sorry, not Motorola. It was, I forget the brand. I sent it to Gizmodo to review, and they're like, and I'll cut this out. And they're like, oh, that's a black penis on your face. And they,
Don't cut this out.
oh, you're still over there?
cut this out.
And they wrote that up, and they're like, oh yeah,
They wrote that?
they wrote it up. I forget the
No,
brand. They wrote it up.
Wrote it?
So we reviewed it. I sent, because back then it was like tip, we tip each other and we help each other out.
Of course.
Back in the Wild Wild West days, 2004, Wild Wild West days. And they roll it up and I'm like, that's not wrong. I mean, I'll look for a picture. I still have it somewhere. So, you get all these brands with so much money that they can throw engineering, they can throw everything
But
at.
it can be a problem too if you have too much money.
Too many chefs
You're
in the
not
kitchen.
focused anymore.
Too many chefs in the
You're
kitchen.
not
Yep.
focusing on that's the same as an
Yep.
artist who, okay, let's make a record of $2 million. Okay,
It doesn't
then
work.
you are too much and you lose this
Exactly,
this
you
vibe,
lose
this
that.
energy,
Yep. That's pretty much nailed everything except, let's talk about the future a little bit. You alluded to additional drivers. You said something about the 4.
We already have. I actually have here one. This is like a quad driver.
Does it increase the size of the shell any, or is it about the same?
Not really. So because I show you so this is a quad driver. This looks a little bit more great. A little bit more thick, but here's a quad driver in.
Interesting. Okay.
From Knowles, so we're very happy with it, and they even have now a smaller one. So so maybe in the future, but I say 8. Okay, they have it, but I don't know. Maybe it's improving. If it's improving, we are going to do it.
Can you dumb it down for our readers what it means to have 1 driver versus 4? What do you hear? What are the differences?
Yeah.
Design that tapestry for me in your head.
If you have one driver, you have like the low tones, you have the mid range, but you have your low mid, then you have the high notes, tweeters, but there's something in between it. So if you all of this had to compress this in one driver, you have to make some concessions.
Okay. Where do you make the concession at? The mids?
Now, I think in the end, because of the ceiling, this single driver is so crazy. We didn't invent this single drive, but it's crazy good. So the sound it's better than actually my wired that I'm wearing on stage with 4 drivers.
Yeah. No, I
So
believe
imagine.
it.
But you can have a little bit more definition. So you can focus with quad drivers. One really focus on the bass. One really focus on the midtones.
So you're isolating. Isolating each of the.
Every instrument that has different levels of frequencies can be more in the mix. So, but you can also overdo it with the quad driver. So you have to tune it really in a particular way.
Got it.
Because else it's turning around and it's going to be worse than the single drive.
So if you mix, so this is where the complication comes in with the personalized hearing. Is that going to screw with that? And I do my hearing test, and you overlay it together. Is that going to just?
No, that's different because what normally happens. So first of all, we have an equalizer, so you can adjust the sound in a 5-way equalizer.
So you do allow customization in the app?
Yeah, we have it in. We have a scanning app and we have a user app.
Okay.
And in the app we have an equalizer, and you can 5-way change the sound you want it to be.
Okay.
In the future we have a patromatic equalizer. Then per song you can do your own mix and save it.
Okay.
But this personal hearing for me was like a magic trick almost, because you do like a hearing test, so you hear like a scratchy noise. And without it, there's a tone coming up. Once you hear it, you push like a button on your phone, and once you don't hear it anymore, you let go.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 minutes per ear.
So you're not just listening to the beat, but you are actually actively.
No, this is like only doing the test.
Got it.
After the test.
The
it's
test
like
after the test?
algorithms after the test.
So you're doing
knows,
wait. So you're doing the hearing test, and then you're doing another test?
No, you're doing a hearing test, but after the hearing test, it knows in what frequency levels you're lost during your life.
Okay, got it.
And then it's not turning one frequency louder because it just pushes down the other frequencies. It's not a fair game.
Right.
It's just adding other frequencies, so it enriches your sound. And I can tell you, it's like just like if you, it's like a kind of button kind of thing on your iPhone. Wi-Fi off, Wi-Fi on.
I review hearing aids.
If you put it on, It's a different sound.
Yep.
You hear as if you're going to listen to a sound, and that's why it's
Yep.
personal. And your ears like a 25,
So you're kind of, I mean,
25-year-old
with
again.
the way hearing aids work is they don't actually amplify. They're kind of just, they don't drown anything else out, try to amplify, but they are actually adding tones that your hearing has been lost. So
That's
is that
it.
what you're doing
Yeah,
as
that's
well
what we're doing.
with the
And
Zone 1?
Even for example, if your left ear is slightly less in hearing than your right, it can adjust it to in volume. So it makes it more even. It evens it out, but you get more frequency, and you hear again as if you were 20 years younger.
Okay.
And it's really because you think if you're older and you were in loud environments, you're only missing the high tones. But I also lost a lot of bass.
Yeah.
And that's what I found out. And I needed to cry when I heard it the first time because I got my full sound back.
Yeah. What about airflow? Because if you're relying on passive noise cancellation, it's got to obviously seal everything. If I'm on a 5-hour flight, am I gonna be sweating like a pig inside my ear canal?
No. It's still, it's very comfortable. So you just put a one in that's not even made for your
Right,
ears,
and it
you
felt
say, hey,
great.
It's
Yep.
quite comfortable, and it's not like that. It's like some vacuumizing it. It just feels very comfortable, and it's not. You're not going to sweat. It's not going to be going to get hotter
Yeah.
in your ears or so warmer in your ears. That's not the case.
I will
It's just-
say it almost feels like it's a hybrid between custom and having that tip versus my custom where it doesn't have the silicone tip, but it's got that elongated shell, and then after like 2 hours, you're like, oh my god, my ear! It's
Yeah,
even if it's
yeah,
custom
yeah,
to your ear canal,
Yeah.
you will still feel that hardness versus
And that's why sometimes artists shape it a little less deep.
yes.
Because
Oh my
it's
god.
too much. If you sometimes
The guy that shaped mine got a little too happy.
yeah.
No pun intended.
But that feels very uncomfortable, eh? Because then it scratches you.
Exactly,
inside.
exactly. No.
You don't want that. But I think in the future, that's my opinion.
Okay.
AI is going to be so strong it can measure out everybody's hearing canal.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose this tip.
So
in the future.
Speaking of AI, is there any AI component in the software or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Well, talk to me about that.
So-
That's kind of a big
so-
thing here.
So I told you about this universal pebble.
Yep.
But every pebble needs to be slightly in a different spot because every ear is different.
Okay.
So AI is measuring that out.
Okay.
How is it going to be placed in
So
this?
it's in the production side or the development side that's doing that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's AI. That's like software. That's like it measures it out computer wise, and then in the end the printer knows what hole he needs to save, of what part he needs to save, so it can fit in perfectly.
But is that done every time or is it
Every
done
time.
once and then
Every-
you can
no.
use that mold?
No, yeah, for the same person, yeah, but
Everyone's different.
but everyone is
Okay,
different.
that's what I was getting at is
Maybe it's only 1 millimeter different, but it's different all the time.
don't say that to like phone company because 1 millimeter to a phone company would take them 3 years to figure out how to.
And that's why the sealing needs to be handmade because
What
if it's
does that
slightly
mean? You
different-
referred to sealing a few times. Can you explain what the sealing means to us?
So if this balanced armature driver has got a little hole in the back of it, so if you have like a bass, there's an airflow, and that's the only way you get really good bass. That's why we have tremendously good bass.
So you want to make sure
And
it's
you
not
want
too.
to seal that off because else
It
going
just
nowhere.
dissipates.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a sealing inside the canal, and that's what I mean.
Amazing. Okay, and then is that also done by AI to help calculate that, or is that just
No,
your?
no, not particular that thing, but now we are talking with our printing company. Now they make a little print because if air canal inside of the shell is different. But if you're going to place handmade the drivers in it, you don't want them to move.
Right.
So now we print a little slightly tiny thing in where it can fit in the driver, so it can move. And that's also different with every ear.
Are you using any glue?
No.
So you don't have to worry about
No,
melting, smelting, none of that.
No,
Can you talk
no.
about that sustainability on that side as well?
Yeah, we have now. We had in the past a little bit of two-component glue also for the ceiling, but now we found a different way with silicon to do that.
To seal or to hold together? To seal. Okay.
Yeah, to seal, and hold together is also sealing in a way. In a way.
What about the plate covering up the pebble?
Yeah.
How is that staying on?
So we first had a removable faceplate. In the future, we're going to have this again, but then that was a little bit a problem for the ceiling.
Got it.
And so we focus on bringing this good sound to the market now. In the future, we have removable faceplates. If you wear like a blue jacket, you can put a blue one on.
Got it.
But that's the future. And you can make like a piece of jewelry of it, and you can just put another one on it. And then you can easily. But if you send this back, we still have it. You still can see here.
Can you raise that up for me just a little bit?
Yeah. If you look, you see like a line walking here.
Got it.
But I don't want to pull it now
out
of it. But normally you can take it out, click and click it on it again. So
Well,
I don't like the yellow. I don't like this because this is leather.
I know a guy that would like the yellow.
No, okay, maybe. Yeah.
Was that good?
But it's like.
No.
Yeah,
Can I put up to the
yeah,
camera
yeah.
here?
So it's like we all have different. We're trying
So
out.
funny. No,
We're not
what
gonna
is
bring
it about
this
the
on the
yellow
market.
that you don't like?
Yeah,
No, it is now at the moment the quality.
It's
not
the-
Oh, the quality. It's not the color.
It's
yeah, the color.
it's like cut it in.
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's like leather.
Is this printed as well? 3D
No,
printed?
this is not. So it's
Only
like
the
a little.
charger's printed.
It's
Only the
it's
charger's
in
printed.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Only the charger's
leather
printed.
inlay.
Yeah.
It's a leather,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a leather.
You need to
Okay.
figure it out the best
But I was
quality
searching
for
for one better one to.
Do you think you would come out with a carbon fiber one? Is that easy to do?
I think in the end everything that's printable we can.
Can you
we-
print
we
carbon
can-
fiber? You can.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
You can print gold.
You can print gold. You can eat
print
gold.
Platinum.
that,
Yeah.
that is the thing that we now bring to life, the cold one.
So
for
crazy.
example, to show you.
So.
That's funny.
Let's wrap up. What else can you?
You need a set, my friend.
I need a set.
You need a set.
You hear that?
You
Yeah,
need a
yeah.
set.
It is on,
What's that?
it is on camera.
Yeah.
I yeah.
It's on camera.
No, I